So the actual healing of fear of failure takes place in the doing of it, because there's one thing, the biggest gift that I believe you can give yourself as an entrepreneur is to teach yourself to become comfortable with discomfort, because that's part of the journey. Being an entrepreneur and coming out with your soul gift is such a vulnerable process, because you're showing something that is so true to you. Welcome to the Seeing in the Dark podcast, the podcast for the women of the ancient futures, women that see beyond eyes and know beyond mind and are here to make a change from a deep communion with the mystery of life. Seeing in the Dark is about walking paths that have not been walked before and daring to show up for the mission and dream life that is knocking on your door. My name is Nicole Nima Costeres, mystic, medium, initiated priestess, and here to take you into the mysteries of purpose, power, ritual, and intuition. May you embody your own unique essence so deeply that your vibration naturally teaches, inspires, and assists others. Let's dive in. Today, I want to share about some guidance on the 5 biggest challenges in your business journey. And I'm going to share some support and guidance on that, on how I believe you can work with that challenge inside your business journey. So I want to talk with you about these 5 biggest challenges. I mean, there were so many, but these 5 were really standing out for me. Number 1, I am scared to fail. This is one that I saw mentioned by many. I'm scared to fail. In other words, what I believe that means is that you are someone that feels very responsible and has high standards of yourself. Now, this is something to not be ashamed of, not even to make that wrong, because having high standards for yourself, I celebrate that. I think that's an amazing, beautiful quality, because you care about the quality of your work and you care about delivering something beautiful to your clients. However, if these high standards become too much and you have this pressure and fear of failing, it means you started to take yourself way too serious. Because what I believe is the number one solution for this fear of failure, it's to fail. That's the solution. To fail, to learn to become okay with failure is to experience it. So what does that mean exactly? Because when you have your own business, you will always have a moment where your post doesn't work. Nobody really seems to interact with it. Nobody really seems to like it. It's part of the journey. This is something that you cannot prevent. I had launches where I had 0 signups, 0. Weeks of work, weeks of preparation, all my love into it. I opened the doors, no signups. Yeah, I had posts that blew up completely, that had a lot of interaction. So these successes and failures in business, so to speak, they are part of the journey. And the more you can learn to accept that, the more you can learn to be okay that that is part of the journey, the more you will learn also to become okay with this idea of so-called failure. So you can also do therapy, of course, to work on your fear of failure, to work on your fears. But I've seen this so many times. You work on therapy, which is beautiful, which I also have done myself, and you feel confident, and then you're ready, and you're about to make that scary post, and again, that fear comes up, right? So the actual healing of fear of failure takes place in the doing of it, because there's one thing. The biggest gift that I believe you can give yourself as an entrepreneur is to teach yourself to become comfortable with discomfort, because that's part of the journey. Being an entrepreneur and coming out with your soul gift is such a vulnerable process, because you're showing something that is so true to you, but yet when you open that up, it's so vulnerable for the opinions of others. Will it work out or not? Will I be good enough? All the things. When you can teach your body to become comfortable with discomfort, I feel that's the number one gift you can give yourself as an entrepreneur. Because even every new launch or every new program that I launch, I feel that. I have a moment where I feel, oh, is anybody going to sign up? How is this going to go? For me, that didn't disappear. But what did change is that I know, oh yeah, there it is again, that voice, okay, welcome, I see you, I thank you, it's okay that you're here, but I'm not gonna let myself be dragged down into a deep, dark hole. So the more you're going to experience these situations of what we then label as failure, the more your body will start to become okay with it. And the more your body starts to see, this is actually part of my business journey. And it's okay. It really is okay. And I see way too many times that this is something that holds women back because they have that fear. They don't dare to take that step. And I would say, feel the fear, feel the doubt, and do it anyway. Feel the fear, feel the doubt, and do it anyway, in connection with the capacity of your nervous system, because we don't want to overstretch our capacity. Yeah. So you want to find that sweet spot between stretching, but not overstretching and panicking your system, but also not staying too much in the hiding because you're scared to come out. And this is one of the things that, for example, in the 6-month mastermind, we spend time on. How can I stay in this stretching zone without panicking my system, but also not without crawling back into my safe cave because it's just so comfortable in there. And this is something that can benefit us so much in our business journey. And it's very similar to I'm scared to being criticized. But being criticized is a good thing. It actually is a good thing. And I had to learn that over the course of years, because I remember one of my first YouTube videos, I was really a bit scared, and I heard my own voice and it sounded a bit weird. And I did my best to make this beautiful video and I posted on YouTube, and I go and watch it the next day and there is a thumbs down. And I'm like, oh, I remember I was upset for a week. I was like, oh no, there is a thumbs down. Someone doesn't like my video, right? So this is normal. You have this fear of oh, and the tendency to then crawl back into your hiding. But actually, when you can understand that not everybody is going to like who you are and what you do. And remember what my friend said? She told me one day, because I was struggling with this a lot. People were criticizing or judging, and I was upset. I just wanted everybody to be my friend and to be in peace with each other. But she said to me, if you don't receive criticism, you didn't take enough of a stand yet for what you believe in. Because if you truly take a stand for what you believe in, there's always going to be people cheering you on for it, and always going to be some people that don't like it or don't agree. So it's a good thing. Being criticized means you actually took a stand for something. And I know that sounds maybe easy, but to the body, it can feel really triggering. But know that this is something that you can practice and train and develop inside yourself. And I know, because this was a big, big topic for me, especially because I do these unusual things, I travel to these unusual places, I go to these unusual experiences, and people have opinions about it. And so what I first tried to do is hide these parts of myself so nobody would see them, and also nobody could judge them. But actually, the more I started to come out with who I truly am, the more that started to bring flow in my leadership, the more it started to bring expansion into my business, because the people could actually see and feel me. That was the number one. Number two, I don't know where to start. And I feel this one can be a challenge at the beginning of your business journey, but it can also stay a challenge while you're on your business journey, because every time when you completed your vision, so to speak, a new, bigger vision opens, right? And then again, it's like, oh, I don't know where to start. So in that sense, your big vision can feel overwhelming. And you just don't know where to begin. And that can sometimes feel paralyzing. What I would say is always remember that you can start with one step, one thing, one brick. It's so popular in the online space to have to build your 6-figure company in 6 months. But I always remind my women in the programs that you are building your life's work. You don't have to build the full potential of your business in 6 months. If you remember that you are building your life's work and you can go at it slow and steady, moving forward, slow and steady. And this is what I remind the women in my mastermind. You don't have to come into this mastermind and come out with your business in all the details fully how you want it to. If you can put 2 or 3 things and lay them super solid, they will work for you for many years to come. So if you remember that you are building your dream castle, like the Taj Mahal, do you know how many years that took to build? Many years. So if you remember that you are building your dream castle, so if you can put each brick in there with all the love and care that you have, then one day you look up and your dream castle is there. You don't have to build. And I think way too many of us, that we want to build it fast and it needs to, and then it collapses like a house of cards. So remember to just do one thing at a time. And if you don't know where to start, ask your joy. This is what I do when I start my day. I have my to-do list. I ask my joy, what are we going to start with? And sure, there is some deadlines sometimes, and then you kind of have to do it. But you can follow your joy. You don't have to overthink it so much. What are you most joyful about right now? And that's where you can start. One step at a time. And also what I see is that the more you can allow this slow and steady yet solid building of your business, the more exponential growth actually naturally starts to happen. But when you start to try and force exponential growth, you actually slow down your growth. Yeah, this is my experience. I had so many waves of exponential growth, but I always was in the slow and steady and solid building of my business. Number 3. I don't feel good enough, experienced enough, or beautiful enough, especially the experienced enough. I saw that also quite a few times written in the forums. And what I want to say about that is that it doesn't matter where you are in your experience level as an entrepreneur or an expert, there will always be people more experienced than you and further along in their business journey. And there will always be people less experienced than you and less further along in their journey. That's something to remember, because sometimes we can feel like, oh, everybody is so much further than I am, or whatever it is that you're thinking. But this will always be the case. There's always people further along and less further along. So trust your own pace of things. When I started, for example, I was a masseuse and I offered psychic readings for people. And what I was also not sure in the beginning. I was like, I don't know how to charge for money. I don't really know if I can offer readings well. So I just started to offer practice readings. I made a post on Facebook. I said, hey, I'm practicing readings. Who would like to receive a reading from me? And I did it for free. And later it became donation based. And then I started to feel more trust in what I was offering. And again, I believe that the healing of these feelings is in the doing. And sure, you can go to that retreat to heal yourself from not feeling good enough. And you can go to that therapist or that coach and let that support you as well. But I see way too often, specifically with women who spend a lot of time in the spiritual community, that they keep turning towards that. One more therapy, one more retreat, one more healing, one more trauma, and then I'm ready. One more, but actually it's in the doing. It's to feel that discomfort and do it. And this is where you will really build the trust in an embodied way. And it's the same here. To become comfortable with discomfort is the best muscle you can train, I believe, in your business journey. And it's also the feedback I often get from women in the mastermind. They come out and they say, I know now I can face any discomfort in my business because I've been practicing this for 6 months. And I've been like cheering them on. Yeah, I'm your personal cheerleader for 6 months, cheering you on to do the thing. And then afterwards, we come and hold you, in your insecurities that are triggered and your shakiness, and breathe together. And then the next inspiration comes through. So that sense of community can also help us so much. We don't have to go through it alone. And being an entrepreneur is already alone enough. So surrounding yourself with like-hearted people, with mentors and coaches that can cheer you on, that can hold you accountable, that sometimes give you that little push and sometimes give you that hug. Number 4, my audience is not big enough. I am not reaching enough people. So what I want to say to that is you do not need a big audience to grow your business. I had women in the mastermind with an email list of 30 people, and they would sell their packages. I had women in the group that had Instagram profiles with less than 300 followers, and they would sell 5 figures with their mentorships. So you don't need a big audience to grow your business. What you do need to do is love the audience that is there with all of your heart. Because this is my experience. Like I said, some people think in order to grow a 6-figure business, you need thousands of people on your email list. I think I had 800 or 900 when I hit my first 6-figure year. It's not that big of a list. I have colleagues that have 100,000 people on their email list. I don't have that. So you don't need a big audience to grow your business and to stabilize your business. But what you need to do is to love the audience that is there. And it will naturally create overflow, because then the audience is excited and they start to recommend their friends, and then it naturally starts to expand and grow from there. And sure, there's ways to organically grow your audience. Like I'll be teaching also in the mastermind on how can you grow your audience to events like this, what I'm doing right now, or to setting up your podcast, or to, there's so many different ways that you can organically grow your audience. This is actually the first event in my whole business journey where we started working with Facebook ads. But all the rest of this decade that I'm in business, I never worked with ads or anything like that. It was all organic growth. So you can do that. When I hear people say, I am not getting enough clients, my invitation would be stop trying to get, start giving. Stop trying to get and start giving. Because if your starting point can be from the giving, it will always naturally come back to you. That's inevitable. Just a quick break from the episode to let you know that registration is open for my 6-month leadership and business mastermind, You Are a Soul Leader. These 6 months are an all-inclusive and all-round package in which you can lay a solid foundation in your leadership and in your business. It has a unique blend of shamanics and energetic, in which you can cultivate your confidence, find the energy to unhide yourself and truly become visible, accessing more of your power, your greatness, and your leadership, combined with step-by-step business tools from how to do selling in an authentic way, how to let marketing feel like something super joyful, how to create and align your content to the soul of your business and the characteristics and qualities that are in there. In other words, a 6-month program to which you can birth and expand your business from the inside out, in deep connection to who you truly are and the essence of you that you want to bring into the world, in deep communion with the soul of your business. Now, this is only a little bit of all the business tools that are in there. There's also modules to set up your podcast, create your newsletter, how to have clear collaborations, how to set up free webinars, how to write email sequences that sell, how to launch your courses, how to set up one-on-one mentorship packages. I mean, it is rich and complete for you to have everything you need to bring your business to that next solid level of foundation. If you feel the pull towards this mastermind and you want to know if and how exactly this program can support you, I'm offering discovery calls in this coming week. Discovery calls of 30 minutes in which we can see this is exactly how the program can support you. And I just added in an extra bonus that I never ever did before. That's an in-person live day where the women come together. And there is such a power in community. When you surround yourself with like-hearted people in your business journey, it makes the journey so much easier, because aren't we all a little bit on our own little island as an entrepreneur, especially when we don't have a team yet? It can feel alone. And when you're surrounded with women that all go through the same challenges, the same insecurities, the same struggles, the same celebration, then it strengthens us to do it together. And for the ones who cannot come to the Netherlands for this live day, we will set up a really beautiful way so you can still join it online. I would love to meet you in one of the spots that are still left for the discovery calls, which is not a lot of spots because already like around 12 women have booked their call and they're super excited to come into this group, and we only have 15 spots. So if you feel the pull, don't hesitate to book your call and let's connect in a 30-minute discovery call for the mastermind You Are Soul Leader. All right, back to the episode now. And this is why I love offering events like this, because I am not in the event because then I need to try and get, but I'm in the event because I love to be with all of you in this event. So if you start from giving, that will naturally overflow. So in the beginning, I was giving my sessions. In the beginning, I was giving massages. And then at some point, I felt drained afterwards. So now it's time to put a price on it. And this is how it started. This is how I started to make money with my business. Yeah. So when you feel that trying to get, have you ever had someone that liked you, it was into you, and this person was trying to get something from you or came to you with a certain neediness? What is your response to that? When someone approaches you with neediness, you're like trying to get out of there as fast as you can, right? Or at least you start to feel a bit of resistance. You start to run or feel annoyed. And it's the same with your clients. When you approach them from that place of neediness or trying to get something from them, they'll run away. And you don't have to see that then as a failure. You can see it as something to learn from, to see, hey, oh yeah, actually, I was feeling a bit of needy here. So how can I shift that in myself? How can I return to that place of giving? So love who is already there. That's what creates overflow. And also, when you feel your audience is not big enough and you're not reaching enough people, what you can also ask yourself is, where are you still hiding? Where are you still hiding? Because this is also what I often have seen in mentorships or in the mastermind. And women are excited. They're like, I'm going to make my post. And they make one post and they're like, I still didn't get any signups. And I'm like, how many posts did you make? One post. Yeah, okay, but maybe you need to make a little bit more. Maybe there's a video, maybe you can show a bit more of yourself, right? So where can you allow more of you to come out, to let yourself truly be visible? And this is something I learned over the years, because on day one, I shared with you, I was Miss Universe in hiding. I was so scared to come out, and therefore people couldn't fully see me and feel me. And therefore, I was struggling with having enough clients or having flow in my business, because actually I was then opening a little bit and then closing. See, nobody wants to work with me. And then, so where can you unhide yourself more? Where can you fully show yourself with who you are and what you stand for? And the more you can unhide yourself, and that looks different for everybody. It doesn't mean you have to be naked on your social media. But the more you can show the authentic you, the more people can see and truly feel you, and the more they will naturally magnetize towards you, naturally, because they feel inspired. They recognize something that feels inspiring to them. I literally remember posts that were so uncomfortable for me that it took me 3 days. And I was going to my partner saying, oh, I cannot believe that my inspiration wants me to post this. I feel so uncomfortable. And then sometimes it would take me 3 days to post it, but I would post it. And not even to try and make something happen in the audience, but as my own initiation, as my own, my own inner process that I wanted to overcome or go through. So I would face my own challenges, basically, just as an inner process that I wanted to overcome. And not even so much with the focus of, oh, I need to unhide myself for the people there. No, I wanted to do that for myself, because I felt trapped in myself. I felt I was sitting on a mountain of volcanic potential and I was not allowing it to come through. And I wanted to. So I had so many of these moments where I had to feel the fear, feel the doubt, and do it anyway, to the point where now I still have those moments, but I also know and I trust the process of that now, because I know I will come out on the other end feeling much more at home with who I am. feeling much more, in communion with the soul of my business and mission. And someone says, what about the algorithm? The algorithm, I would completely ignore it, because if you start to try and stay updated on the algorithm, it will make you completely confused and dizzy. So sometimes I make a post and I see the algorithm has changed, something has changed. I'll just continue following my inspiration, doing what I love, and it will always at some point pick back up again. I think I had in the last 3 years, maybe 2 times where I didn't pick up at all my post, and I would sometimes delete it and post it again a few hours later, and then it would pick up again. But overall, I would say ignore the algorithm. I do have, for example, one training in the mastermind where I show you how to work with the Instagram insights to grow your audience, where you, for example, can see what is the best time to post for your audience? Where are the most people online in your audience? Those things might be valuable information, but they're not necessarily connected to the algorithm, because those are complex artificial intelligence things that are all the time changing. I don't even want to go there. I just want to follow my inspiration. And I highly recommend that you do the same, unless you're passionate about algorithms and you want to figure it out. But okay. Number 5, I don't have or make enough money. And what I want to say to that, I remember in one of the forums, someone said, I cannot get anyone to buy my offers. And here it's the same thing. Stop trying to get, start giving. Stop trying to get, start giving. It's the same with making money. Also, work on your relationship with money. Work on the relationship with money. Remember, if you connect with money and see it as your lover or a friend or partner, how are you currently relating with this partner? I was terrible to it. I was needy, trying to pull it in or push it away or judging it because it's evil and look at all the toxic leaders in the world and I hate the money system. And okay, if this is how you talk to your partner, I don't think your partner likes to be close to you, right? So how can you deepen the relationship with your money so that money actually also loves to be around you? And without then starting to punish yourself, but how can you do that in a loving and playful way? So I, for example, had times where I had money in the house, like little piles of money, so that multiple times per day I would see it and be reminded of, oh yeah, I actually can take a moment to connect. Or I can actually remember that money is not dirty when you touch it. This is how I grew up. My parents would say, oh, when you touch money, it's dirty. You need to wash your hands. And then you get this like repulsion towards money. I mean, there's so many things, so many charges, so many limiting beliefs that we can have around money. So spending time on your money mindset, spending time on clearing that out and making space is going to completely change your relationship with money. And remember what I said yesterday, to make that decision to no longer make a separation between being a deep spiritual woman and embracing power, money, and leadership. Because more of the money should be in the hands of heart-centered and soul-based leaders. At least that's what I believe. Yeah, so taking the time to deepen and clean up your relationship with money is going to do so much. I believe 80% of the growth that I had times 40 with my business revenue, 80% of it has been mindset work, making space also physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. 80% of it was deepening my ability to actually receive it. Because when I hit my first 6-figure year, I couldn't receive it. I was literally sick in my bed for a week. I felt horrible. I felt terrible. I was like, what do I do with all this money? I felt guilty. I had to process all these yucky stuff that I had around it. So I had to learn how to actually receive it and to see what beautiful things I can then do with it, like have an amazing team that now supports the mission of Women of Ancient Futures. Now we are 5 pillars instead of only me. Or to see that I can support, like just now in Benin, 24 kids and young adults together with 80 people that were donating, and we could support these kids. There is so many possibilities that open if we dare to receive money and let it flow. in and out, in and out. I have a 3-hour training called The Sacred Art of Receiving Money. It's also one of the bonus trainings for the mastermind. It's a 3-hour training where I go into all the details on how I made space for it, and I guide you step by step to healing and cleaning up your relationship with money and deepening your ability to truly receive it. One thing that I can share with you is that I believe there is 3 levels of receiving. And I'm going to show you with an example of a compliment. So when someone gives you a compliment, what is your response? So level 0, let's say there's also level 0, is you don't allow it in and you actually kind of reflect it back. Oh, yeah. You're not really receiving the compliment. You're kind of reflecting it back, not allowing it in at all. That's level 0 of receiving. Then the first level of receiving is you receive a compliment and you say thank you, but you don't really allow it in. So you say, thank you so much. Someone says, oh, wow, I really appreciate your beautiful heart. Yeah, thank you. But you don't really allow it into your body. Second level of receiving, someone gives you a compliment, you say thank you, and you allow it into your body. Third level of receiving, you say thank you, allow it into your body, and you acknowledge that quality within yourself. For me, that has been the deepest place of receiving a compliment, is to actually acknowledge, I also can acknowledge my own heart, my beautiful open heart, or whatever the compliment was. And it's something similar with money. So when you allow it in, are you truly allowing it in to your body? Can you truly stay open while you allow it in? Can you truly acknowledge that you're worthy to receive that and that you can do beautiful things with that? If you are really good in receiving a compliment, you can also let that part of yourself teach you about how to do that in the same way with money. Yeah, because apparently a part of you is really good in receiving. So how can that part of you teach you about how to do the same with money? There's so much to share about money. This is also why we spend a good chunk in the mastermind on working with your money mindset and making space for that. One thing I also believe is like the same way with making space inside yourself is the only way to truly change your relationship with money. I can see, because I had a lot of resistance towards the money system and how that's currently set up in the world. And I started to resist it. But actually, since the moment I started to embrace it, I can see that the only way to change this current system that doesn't really work is to change it from the inside out instead of resisting it. There's so many women also that are in the spiritual community and they say, I don't want to embrace money because the money system sucks. But actually, I don't believe that by rejecting it so fully that anything will necessarily change. But what if we can fully embrace it and see what we can do to change that system from the inside out? Big project. I don't have all the answers for it, but at least I'm getting very beautiful insights about it. I think also that we have this collective judgment still around spiritual jobs, that we're not allowed to make money with that. I think it also comes from this age of the guru, where gurus, they're kind of like, I feel we're moving away from that age of the guru, but also many gurus, they were not allowed to make so much money. A lot of them work donation-based. So to collectively being allowed, so to speak, to make money with a spiritual or soul-based business is still quite relatively new. It's really normal that we have to work with these resistances or ideas or even collective rejection of that to break free from that or to move through that. But it is very much possible, very much possible. And I wish you an incredible continuation of your journey. Maybe I will see you to continue our journey in the mastermind together. Then if you feel the pull, please book your discovery calls. And otherwise, I wish you an amazing continuation of your journey to however and wherever your path leads you. So once more, thank you. I wish you a beautiful evening, a beautiful day, and until we meet again, much, much love. Mwah. Did you receive any inspiration, motivation, or powerful breakthroughs by listening to this episode? Then please share this episode by taking a screenshot and tagging me in your stories at nicole.nima.costeres. I would love to celebrate you, share you in my stories, and it would mean so much to have my work reach more powerful, passionate women like you. Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you next week.